Aquarius, I have a message for you from Spirit for November 2024. It's me here, Krystal Clear. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to start by pulling two cards, one for the energy as you enter the month of November and one for the energy as you leave the month. So coming in, we have Spider. It says, what a wild web we weave, dear child, a delicious mystery, untamed, like a black widow baby. As you leave the month, we've got the voices, the voice of our ancestors and spirit guides. It says, with the tug at the gut, feel them romance your very breath. Listen to the gentle flickering within your eyes, for this is where they guide. It's very cool. In another reading, I had this come out first, followed by steps, right? Steps to take. And in this reading, it's almost like, I guess the phrase would be like a blind faith for you, Aquarius. The spider is all about the work and it is untamed. It is like there is a purpose that you have, Aquarius, that you've been really, structured, and you've been trying to take the right steps and do the right things and move it forward in the right way. And there's definitely a discipline, a consistency that is being acknowledged. However, with the untamed, it's like, try not to, or as you start the month, you may realize you are not as attached to the process, that you have this bit of faith that you're doing the right things. You are weaving the web. Eventually the fly is going to get caught. You don't need to weave the web and catch the fly. The web is designed to catch the fly. You need to build the web, and the fly will come, and your ancestors, your spirit guides, the voices, your intuition, it will guide that fly right to you. You just need to build, to create the web, to spin the web. So I feel as if, Aquarius, you have been spinning a web. And as you start the month of November, I should say, this. So as you end the month of November, that is where you are seeing the fruition of your work. And the voices make sense. You know that everything led you down this path properly. So the work that you've been doing, you've been diligent. And the no's and the rejections that you've been getting, especially like if this relates to work, or you've been interviewing, or maybe putting in applications, or, trying like at schools, or something to do with your work, your home, something that you're working towards, and you've just been getting rejection after rejection. Spirit wants you to know that that's the work of weaving the web. The yes, the fly. Well, the yes is the fly, right? The yes is divine timing. The yes is intuition. The yes is these voices that when the time is right, you get the yes. And I feel like November is a yes month for you. By the end of November, you see that all of the web weaving and spinning was what you needed to do. It was worth it. All right, so let's pull 4 cards for this month and let's see how it looks. There's a yes card with the sun. That's a good start. We've got the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Energy. Nice. Ace of Cups. A new start. Oops, I'll get that later. Okay, 4 of Pentacles. That's your spinning the web. It's very interesting. Very demure. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It's very interesting because up here in the month, it's like the spider, the work, and the intuition. Whereas here, it's like the intuition and then the work. So I do feel November is a very balanced book month mark for you. What? Bookmark month for you, meaning coming into the month, you're working very hard, and you know it's going to pay off. You feel it's going to pay off, and by the time it finally pays off, you're like, dang, I worked so hard. When really the right place at the right time showed up, I didn't need to. I don't want to say it was wasteful, but that you didn't have to attach so much. So remember at the beginning when Spirit was like, just do the work. Just don't attach so much to the work that you're doing. Like spin the web. You don't have to attach to the fly being in the web. You just need to spin the web and trust that you're doing the right things. I feel like with every no or every rejection, that you have received leading up to the month of November, these hardships that you've been going through, you're realizing that by the end of the month, you didn't have to put so much expectation into them, that you could not rush the timing of things, that everything has its place and space in divine order, and timing is not up to us. What needs to happen is that we keep the energy moving. And that's the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is the queen of energy. She works with energy. So if you find that, Aquarius, that either right now you are in a place of waiting, or you feel October was that place of waiting, when you get to November in your reflection, hopefully you can see that the work that you did in the wait is what brought you the peace to continue expanding your energy. Spirit wants you to know that it is the work in the wait that is productive. And that's the Queen of Wands, is using that energy and making sure that you're working with it to keep your opportunities open, to keep your perspective lifted, to keep your work consistent, to keep your emotions open, to keep your focus shifted, and to not give into any of the doubts or discrepancies along the way. This Four of Pentacles says you may have thought along the journey somewhere that you didn't have enough, and Spirit was like, see, when you thought that wasn't right. You thought you didn't have enough. Well, if you didn't have enough, and look here, you do, you have it. So you must have had enough the whole entire time. So when you were sitting and worrying about not having enough earlier, and now you have enough, that means you always had enough. Ooh, I hope that makes sense. It feels very strong. And apply that however it resonates in your life. But sometimes we get these thoughts and these feelings and we're like, oh, it's just not going to happen. It's just not supposed to happen. And then some time goes by and it happens. And we're like, well, I guess it was meant to happen because it happened. Which means then if you were to reflect back, and that's why I feel like the Four of Pentacles comes at the end, whereas if you were to reflect back at every time where you thought it wasn't enough, or is a conspiracy against me, or whatever the thought was that you might have had, Aquarius, it just wasn't true. And you can just continue to spin your web and not pay attention, when those insecurities or worries come through. All right. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius. It looks like you're getting that yes. That yes is coming. So where you have been rejected, it's finally a yes. And if you want to work more in the wait, if you find that you just haven't got that yes yet, please visit doitdivine.com and schedule your personal session with me. I'd be happy to help. For now, let's give you Spirit's advice as you go about November. Look, and we've got new moon in Aquarius. Bring love into the situation. Aquarius, you got your card and it's the new moon, so that there is going to be, again, it's going to be more towards the new year. But what I feel like this is indicating, bring love into the situation, is like right back here when you're like, see, you're not good enough. You're not worth enough. You don't have enough. You don't do enough. It's not your time. It's never going to be your time. All of that type of talk, those type of beliefs, it's not you loving yourself very much. It's being very, it's just ridiculing yourself. And I do feel we all have the tendency to do that, but maybe for some of you, you've been doing that a little too much lately. And Spirit is reminding you to give yourself the compassion and care and this space, just like you would for others. How you bring love into situations for others, make sure that you're doing it for yourself. So Aquarius, I hope this helps. If we vibe, please subscribe. I'm wishing you all the best blessings and love always. Take care.